Hello everybody, General here today, and we're for another episode, of course, guys, of how to make ourselves what? A gray bundle. How do we do that? Let's get straight into it. All right, cool. So guys, what we're going to be starting with is, as usual, is going outside of our house here to get ourselves a crafting table. So wood to make a crafting table. So step outside of our mansion. We see lots and lots of wood before us. We acquire wood. Any is totally fine, and any planks is totally fine. Now, into our mansion here, what we're going to be doing is, of course, placing down wood that we've acquired. Here's what we call cherry log. You get cherry planks. Now, what you're going to be needing to do, of course, is grab your oak planks. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to get yourself your crafting table. And I mentioned oak planks. It doesn't need to be oak planks. It can be any planks, cherry planks, jungle planks, so on. Now, what you're going to be doing, of course, guys, is coming back here. What you're going to be doing is, of course, grabbing your where is it? Just let me see if I can find it. Yep, right here. Your leather. Placing it down. Leather is harvested from cows, by the way. So you go out there, you find cows. There's one right there right now. Yep. So there's one out there right now. That's what cows look like. In case you don't know what a cow looks like, so you kill that and you get leather. Once you've, of course, acquired the leather from that, you then need strings from spider. So spiders appear during the night along with other zombie mobs. You kill those. They are very dangerous. Kill them with the sword, guys. Kill them first, and you get your strings. Adding them together, your leather and your strings, you get yourself the default bundle, which I call it default because it doesn't really have a color added to it. You kind of need to then add color on top of it, which is what we're going to do here. So once you've done that, you then, guys, need to, of course, make your gray dye. How do you make gray dye? Black and white. So black dye comes from your ink sac, that gives you black dye, and your white dye comes from your bone meal, that gives you white dye, but it also comes from what's called a white tillip. You can find yourself a white tillip, it also gives you white dye. When you add your white and your black together, like so, it then gives you your gray dye. So white and black gives you gray dye. Now that you've got your gray dye, everybody, what you're going to be doing, of course, is adding the gray and the... So it's when you add the gray and the bundle together. So for now, we've got gray there. And now, when you place your default bundle, what I call the default bundle, place that, and then also place that with your, where is it? Your gray, which is up here. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got yourself a gray bundle. I've already got one here, so I don't need one. But why do we need a bundle, or why do you want a bundle? It's because, as it says here, it can hold a mixed stack of items. And that's really cool, because you might think, oh, I could just use a chest. You can't really carry a chest everywhere unless you break through it. And is that what you want to do all the time? And then having to keep crafting it and having to keep placing it down, placing every single item again. You don't want to do that. And then second is because it also holds certain things that you can't just store away, like swords, for example. And that's what it basically does. So thank you guys so much for joining this episode of how to make a gray bundle. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and of course, most important, subscribe to first of all get notified when I post and stream more content like this. And second, because it gives me the strength and motivation I need to keep making more content like this. Have a nice one, everybody. Ciao.